It is time for Mariah's Fair Family Fun Time. We have the tack all loaded up. Now they're catching the steer, getting ready to get him loaded up as well. If you've never been to a county fair before, stick around and we'll share our experience with you. It's lots of fun. All right, so this is one of the more stressful days before the fair. The fair starts tomorrow, and we're just in a mad dash to get the everything finished up, loaded up. It's about 5 or 6 o'clock now, so we need to head out about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's when we take the steer, all the panels, the tack box, the blocking chute, feed, water, everything that she'll need for the steer, plus all of her 4-H projects. We've already got the camper down at the fairgrounds. We did that on Sunday night, but it's crunch time, so here we go. So she's got to get her sewing machine and serger loaded up, and a demonstration project that she's going to be giving a demonstration for, so we've got that. Got a box of food going. We'll pack a cooler and a bunch of other stuff tomorrow. I'm putting together a new stall sign for her to mark her steer stall. Kind of handy having a mom who has a sign shop, so her signs always look neat. I'm also trying to finish up last minute orders in the sign shop, so that when I get home I don't have a bunch of customers standing there waiting for their orders, so I'll get that done as well before we go.
Getting ready for Mariah's Fair Fun Time. Hannah's picking up a little bit of road ditch hay for steer to take to the fair. Got rained on a bunch, and so it's a little too wet to bale, but she needs a couple bales worth, so she's just gonna fork a bunch in there.
Are you goobering my back?
Thank you. and the steer unloaded, and now I'm going to give you a quick tour of our home away from home for the next 5 days. Lots of other campers here, so we have close neighbors per se. We'll go inside and I'll give you a little tour around the camper. Here it is. It's going to be a little cramped in here, but we'll be cozy enough for the next 5 days while we're here. Now Hannah's getting ready for her livestock interview. Each kid gets to do an interview for each project. She has several, but she's going to be starting out with her livestock interview this morning and the others this afternoon. She's dressed nicely in her show clothes and ready to interview. She's a little nervous, but I know she's going to do just great. Finished up with her interview. How'd it go?
Good.
What'd you get?
A blue.
Cool. So, and we're making his, get him all set here.
Yeah.
Get him all set. So we're in the stock trailer, getting the steer unloaded and taking out his feed and feed pans. And look what a cat decided to leave us in the stock trailer last night. Which is really cute, except that Mom didn't come too, just her baby. So, kind of an interesting little turn of events here. Steer's getting a drink of water. I always bring water from home because sometimes they have a hard time getting used to different water. So they're siphoning a little bit out of the tank we brought from home. He's a little confused, doesn't know what's going on. It does have neighbors. So Hannah is finishing up her interviews and we are hanging out here at the camper. It is really, really hot today. Anyway, the neat thing about 4-H, for someone who doesn't know exactly what it's all about, there are tons and tons of projects that kids can do. Hannah does sewing, baking, a cat project, shooting sports. She does air rifle, air pistol, and archery. And she does her market beef. But the neat thing is there's a lot more to 4-H than just those projects. There's all kinds of STEM projects. You can do robotics, veterinary, welding, anything trades oriented. So it's a really good way for kids to get a kind of experience in all of those different fields that will benefit them later in life. And then at the completion, if you want to take projects to fair, then you go through your project interview. They can earn premium money and have their projects on display. Kind of the neat thing, too, it gives them a lot of social skills. Since we homeschool, it really kind of adds to our school curriculum as well. So she's getting public speaking and communication skills, community service skills, all kinds of things come from 4-H. So this is probably my 15th year, I suppose, being involved in 4-H. I wasn't in 4-H as a kid. Dan was. This is, I think, his 25th or 26th year as a 4-H parent, plus he had a number of years as a 4-H'er, and he's also the president of our 4-H council. So We just had a quick livestock meeting right before weigh-in. Hannah's getting her tools to clean her steer stall, and she'll do that, and then it should be time to weigh in her steer, and we'll see how much he weighs. Now they're lining up, getting ready for weigh-in. Hannah's steer is being such a good boy, so patient. Directly following steer weigh-in, the kids had a short pre-show practice round. Basically, they will lead their steers in around the show ring to familiarize themselves and the steer with the ring. It gives the whoever's managing the ring a little bit of an opportunity to see if there's going to be any problems with any of the steers, and just kind of show the kids what's going on. The steer that was standing directly in front of Hannah was having a little bit of difficulties, was a little bit unruly, so it was a good practice for the young lady with her steer. Fortunately, by the time show actually came, the steer was behaving, but he was a little bit unruly. But when they do the pre-show, it's a good time for the adults in the ring to determine if there's going to be any safety issues with any of the steers. And fortunately, with this guy, he had settled down by the time showmanship actually came. So worked out well. Hannah's steer did really well, behaved himself, and it was just a good way to kind of get some of the jitters out of the way too, for both the steer and the kid when they do the pre-show. Hannah's up feeding her steer before he needs to be tied out in its pens. Doing a little housekeeping here, making sure the panels are in good shape. Heading down to the food booth for some breakfast. There's CHS sponsors a free breakfast to 4-H'ers, so Hannah looks so awake. Are you awake?
So beautiful.
You're beautiful.
That is not what
You look so awake.
you said. Yeah.
So pretty sleepy and quiet around here this morning. So we just finished having breakfast. Hannah went to stake out her steer for the day. So she has showmanship, I think, sometime after 1 o'clock. We're not sure exactly what slot she'll be in. Weigh-in yesterday, her steer weighed 1495, which is a pretty big steer. The maximum weight is 1500, so hers was right against the the line, which is good. Good healthy steer. So she will have showmanship this afternoon. So this morning it'll be kind of laid back. She'll be washing her steer about an hour before she does showmanship, and I'll take you along on that. And in the meantime, I might just take a few video clips of maybe a little bit of the hog show and whatever else is going on today. Giving Chester a little bit of a beauty treatment. He ended up getting something stuck all over the side of his head last night. So, gotta make him pretty. Right, buddy? Well, I think you're working on the wrong end now.
Man that comes out forth, to me, an outlier in terms of the skeletal width and mass power. That one's feeding back and using it. I wouldn't be surprised if that there does pretty well. Carcass contest and just on the rail in general. That's pretty good at 82 point. Young man that comes out next. Like that one in terms of the scale, the size, look ahead. The head got arrow splayed. That one just got me asked out there.
Here we have Hannah entering the show ring. as all of the kids are walking their steers around. You'll notice as she comes around that she's keeping her eye on the judge. All of the kids do. You're supposed to keep your eye on the judge and make sure that the entire time you're smiling at the showmanship judge. There are 2 judges in the ring. One is judging market beef and the other is judging the showmanship. So as she brings him around, she'll stop him and set him up so that his legs are nice and square, and that helps. She's being judged on the showmanship portion and the market when she sets him up. So the gal in the red shirt is the market judge, and the guy in the blue shirt holding the papers is the showmanship judge. And this is where the market judge is judging the beef. She's going to be walking along, looking at each steer, and as she chooses first place, second place, third place, and so on, she will pull one out and have them line up. So it's always a little nerve-wracking. You're always hoping that you're next, so to speak. She's getting close to checking Hannah's out. Making notes on her piece of paper there. The showmanship judge is also continuing to judge the kids on showmanship, so you need to keep smiling at the judge and making sure that the steer is set up correctly. So when he's set up correctly, it shows that you have control over your steer and you know what you're doing, and it also sets them up for the market judge to see their best features. So that's pretty important. So we'll see what selections she has made and what line up Hannah will be in. And the judge has made her first place choice. Now she's walking down, looking at the rest of them. Looks like she's chosen number 2. That one doesn't want to go, so the guy's going to come up behind and help him move along a little bit. Judge is asking the young lady on the end to move up a little closer. Giving them all the eye. Move them all a little closer. The one on the end's the one that was a little unruly yesterday, but as you can see, he seems to be doing really well today. And as the others don't want to stand still in line, you'll notice how the kids kind of walk them in a circle and reline them up. And these are all junior showmanship, so most of the kids, it's either their first year or second year, probably. So they're not quite as experienced. Looks like she's made her third place choice. and chosen the one on the end. He's getting a little help moving up. Then she chose Hannah for number 4, which is a pretty decent place to be as well. So
I think that's a tick critical. Maybe a little bit plainer in that muscle pattern. Maybe doesn't have quite that muscle shape as these first 2 calves. Lady here, this big black calf, super tall calf, super freight train long. But for being long, this calf.
now the market judge is explaining her reasoning for the various placements.
Maybe not quite as stout.
Hannah's going to turn her steer around in a circle. Apparently he wasn't wanting to hold still really well.
Young lady right here, this marble-faced calf.
He's still saying, no, I don't want to turn around.
Deep bodied as well. Maybe doesn't have quite the grip shape as some of these
But
other calves.
she'll end up getting a little help
In that muscle
from
shape,
one of
a little
the
more common in that muscle pattern. And
helpers
not
in the
quite
ring.
such a,
If,
finish
yeah,
as maybe
looks
some
like
of the
he's going to
calves
come
on
and
the
help her turn him
young man
around.
right here, kind of opposite story. Plenty of length, plenty of rib, a little bit fat compared to some of these other steers, a little bit stale, maybe took past its prime. Regardless, I mean, that just means this kid did a good job feeding this calf. All right, thank you.
Real nice set. To me, a young lady on the far side, in terms of just getting that steer stuck and shown, awfully good. Always has that one shown off very well. Commend her. That's a really nice job. A young man that'll be second with the red steer.
And now the
very
showmanship
natural, always has that
judge
steer
is
stopped
making
and
his
propped.
selections
There's times to
for
me,
first,
don't
second,
be
and
scared to
third.
kind of work on his head just a shot. You can choke down just a little bit on your halter just to be able to get him going a little bit. A young lady with the black and white steer will be third for me. Really good in terms of just knowing where I am, getting that steer stuck and going, and making sure you're always keeping track of feet and legs. To me, maybe don't be scared to kind of work on his head, and definitely get a loin on that steer every now and then, just to kind of drop him down a shot. A young lady that'll be fourth right here with the black steer. A really nice job as far as just staying calm and natural. There's times that steer will want to fight her just a little bit, stays and kind of keeps working with him. To me, biggest things that kind of separate you, and kind of push you down a little bit. Don't be scared to just kind of, make sure that you get that steer kind of up in terms of his head. He's kind of big and tall and big scale. Make sure you keep him looking level, because there's times he'll just kind of want to drop his head a shot. A young man that'll be fifth, a really nice job in terms of just getting that steer set up and going. Always making sure that you're, kind of working that steer and making sure you're trying to work all of the angles on him. To me, there's times that steer will just kind of want to fidget a little bit extra, and on the lead more so than it is where you kind of get worked down. A young lady with the Hereford steer, to me, one that just kind of wants to be a little bit slower in motion and maybe just doesn't want to work just quite great with you. I can tell you spent enough time with him. I mean, he's not wild by any stretch, but just don't be scared to be a little bit more aggressive with your stick.
In our third class of junior showmen, we had Elise Bankston, 2 blue ribbons. Presley Flesh, 2 purple ribbons. Jaden Farkell, red in showmanship, blue in market. MJ Gustafson, red in showmanship, blue in market. Hannah Colgan, 2 blue ribbons. Hunter Cole, blue in showmanship.
Hannah Colgan, you've just won 2 blue ribbons at the county fair. What are you going to do now?
Probably gonna go back to my camp.
Take a nap?
Yeah, that sounds good.
No rides?
Oh, that too, yeah. Take a ride.
Whoever's bucket has the most money in it by 2:30 on Saturday.
As Hannah and her steer leave the ring, they get to stop briefly to get their photo taken together. At this point, her steer is very tired of having to stand still, so he's wanting to walk around in circles. But she gets him lined out and gets a good picture taken. So that's pretty much a day of showmanship. Both Hannah and her steer did great. They got 2 blue ribbons, one for showmanship and one for market. So can't really ask for a lot more than that for your very first year of doing a beef project.
We're only on day 3 of the fair. We got 2 days left to go. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Welcome to Friday morning. We survived the big show day.
Barely. I'm kidding. Wait, oh dear.
So we're getting ready to go have breakfast. The sponsored breakfast, I don't know if it's CHS or Nutrine or something's doing a free breakfast. Then Hannah will go feed her steer and all that good stuff. So survived show day.
Show us how this dry shampoo that moisturizes works.
It's a shampoo, so it dries the oils out of your hair, but it moisturizes. It takes the bad stuff out of your hair and puts good stuff.
Oh, cool. Show us the product. Not a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yet. Dove.
Now I will show you how it works.
No, not on me. Go away. Go do your own. Oh, man.
Okay, so Friday. Oh, she's stalking me from the back there. Okay, Friday morning. It's kind of a light day today. We had breakfast, got Hannah's steer tied out. Looked at the sale order for tomorrow and got that lined out. So today, kind of a light morning. She has steer ultrasound at noon, and that's where they will do.
See if she's pregnant.
Yeah, see if the steer's
For carcass.
carcass ultrasounding, and I'll video that when we get to it. Carcass ultrasounding. And we'll explain that when we get to it. And she has a public demonstration at 11:45, and then a livestock judging contest at about 3. Then she'll get to spend the rest of the time at the carnival. That's what she did last night. She went to the carnival for a few hours with a friend, and Dan and I went and watched the Indian relay races. And came back to the camper about 10:30 and went to bed. And that's so far a day at the fair.
2002 camper games. Oh no! Oh, and Hannah's already messed it up. Okay, here we go. What was that? Okay, ready?
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're on a roll. New world record. Oh,
So after we goofed around at the camper for a little while, Hannah had her public demonstration. So basically what she was doing a short demonstration on how she made a headband. It was a little nerve-wracking for her. She was pretty nervous about public speaking, but there weren't very many people in the room, and she was giving her demonstration to the 2 judges that are sitting there. Went really well. She was more nervous than she probably needed to be, but that's okay. That's the nice thing about 4-H. It gets you so used to public speaking and being in situations that you might normally be uncomfortable in. So, good learning experience for her. After her demonstration, we moved on to the carcass ultrasound. So, what the technician is doing is going to be shaving a couple spots on the steer. She'll apply some oil and run kind of an ultrasound wand over the area, and she'll be determining what marbling is in the meat and the size of the ribeye, I believe, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what it is they're measuring, but they can tell kind of carcass quality that way on the animals. Hannah, stand up, Steve. So the technician is taking the time to explain to Hannah and to Dan what it is that they're looking at on the screen. I didn't personally catch all of it, but it's a pretty interesting way to determine the carcass quality. So Hannah is at her carcass judging contest, and while she's there, Dan and I thought we would just take a little walk around the fair and see what there is to see. Saturday morning at the fair, Hannah and Dan just went over to tie out Hannah's steer, and then we're going to head over to the 4-H cafe because we have our morning cafe shift from 9 to 1, I guess. So got to do our duty there, volunteer work, and then later on at 3 o'clock is the sale where Hannah will see how much money she gets for her 4-H steer. So I will tag the camera along during the sale, but won't have time to video anything during our kitchen shift. But we're basically just waiting tables, cooking burgers, that kind of stuff. It's sale day. Got him all scrubbed up. Hannah's ready to auction the poor baby off.
I don't want him to go. I'm not ready for him.
Here comes Hannah Colgan from Whitlash, 1,495-pound blue ribbon steer, Hannah Colgan.
Good steer here. Good steer here. Hannah Colgan, a good big black steer. Look at that big black steer. And now $3, now 3, and a quarter half, 75, and a 4, and a quarter half, 4 half, now half, and a 75, and a 5, and a 5, and a quarter, and a half, 5 half, and a 5 half, 75, and a 5.75 $6 bill. Now says, and Joe says, now says, and I say $1 bill now says, and yep, $5.75. Joe Flesh, $6. And now says, and now $6 bill now 6. I sold it your way, Andy. Andy, that's going to be buyer 442. First Bank of Montana, Chester and Conard. First Bank of Montana, Chester and Conard. Thank you very much.
Just left the sale ring, and Hannah's already crying that she had to sell her steer. She was very, very attached.
This is the purple ribbon cake made by Harper Jones of Liberty County. And she told me I could have it. So Hannah and I are now going to sample it. I've already sampled it several times, but we're going to sample it again. Ready? Now that is purple ribbon, you bet!
Sunday morning at the fair. It's our final day. Hannah auctioned off her steer yesterday. It's going to be kind of a difficult morning for her because today he ships out. She got very, very attached to him. She ended up getting $5.95 a pound for him, which is over $8,000. Which seems like a lot of money, but there are lots and lots of businesses that come out and support these kids and gives them a lot of money for college or whatever it is that they want to do towards their future. So that's always a nice thing. But this morning, Hannah's going to be spending just a little bit of extra time with her steer, going and cleaning out his pen and all that prior to getting him loaded up on the truck. This morning.
our sale averages from last night, but a little comparison. So in 2021, just last year, our pigs averaged $9.48 a pound. Last night they averaged $12.96. Anyone have a guess what market price on pigs is? Caitlin says $2.54. Any other guesses? Market price on a pig. Emily? Emily says 75 cents a pound. So if we average those, you'd be in the ballpark, it's about $1.32. So you were about 14 times market price on your pigs.
And we're paying
Steers, what's steers average price? Anybody have a
$11
guess?
for a pound of bacon. Damn house.
Jagger says $5,
Slaughterhouse.
a little high. We also, I think I heard $1.20 somewhere. Alec? $1.39, pretty close. Emily? $1.40? $2.10, okay. In June, they were about $1.22 was market price. So if you took your steer down to Western Livestock and sold it, you got $1.20 a pound. Last year, our steers averaged $5.16. This year, they averaged $6.05. What's market price on lambs? I heard $1.03. $1.30. Any others? So going off of our June prices, which we use for buybacks, it was $2.70. Last year we averaged $8.94. This year we averaged $12.82. So 6 times market price. Any guess on market price on goats? About $3. Last year we averaged $11. This year we averaged $23.83.
Wow.
Last year on 123 head, the overall total was $527,300. This year on fewer animals, 115 head, we brought in $602,000. So more money on less animals. Is Jackie room? Jackie voice.
So they finished up handing out some awards. Hannah ended up with some extra rosettes and an award for most promising first year beef project. It was a great week. We're exhausted and very, very glad to be headed home. Thanks for watching.